Charity versus Room 2. New Age of Zeros.
Hello, I am MykonosFan, and I have a bone to pick with Ted, ExandShadow. Hi, Ted.
Excuse me? You have the bone to pick here?
Yeah, you died too soon in that last Streets of Rage 4 stage, and you made it all too easy for my superior gameplay to win. So we need to. I'm sending my country against your country, and people will die.
With this respect, I'm declaring advanced war on you, Mr. MykonosFan.
I'm declaring advanced war to reboot camp on your country. Also with us is Steven. Hi, Steven.
Hey, Steven.
You're like the country we can request for a treaty. I don't know how war works. You're there.
I'm the UN here to make sure there's no war crimes.
Oh, okay.
Well, the commanding officer is literally a child, so there's definitely some war crimes going on.
All right, well, there's one strike against Ted, so...
As long as everything else is on the up and up, I guess we're fine.
We've also got Stefan and Kevin. They're waiting in the wings to come in. More accurately, they're doing something and we'll be back soon.
There are drone strikes.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
Let's remind everybody why we're here. We're here to support Rise Above the Disorder. They're a great charity. They do a lot of work helping people get in touch with the help that they need. To put things into perspective for what you're donating for, every $10 that goes to RAD can help somebody get a prescription that they otherwise would not have been able to get. Every $30 that a $30 donation can get somebody directly in contact with a therapist. So thank you everybody so much for all the work you've done so far. We've been doing great. Currently we've raised $5,160.84. If we get to $10,000, we unlock Incentive Day 1. That'll be on Friday, August 11th. And if we get to our $20,000 goal, we will unlock Incentive Day 2. That's going to be on Saturday, August 12th. So yeah, it doesn't look like we have any donations in between Family Feud and now. Was there anything else we had to cover before we got started?
That sounds like everything to me.
Awesome. All right. So Chris is going to pull up the rules in just a second so that everybody knows what's going on. We've got a grudge match here where Chris is going to be Combi and I'm going to be Colin. So the ultimate broken CO showdown. Who wins? Paying more money for better troops or less money for worse troops? Quantity versus quality here on display.
I was thinking about this in the lead up. I was like, oh, who's broken but not too broken? And then I joined your game and you're Colin. I'm like, okay, well, there's one pick now then. Okay.
I mean, you could have gone with like Sturm if you wanted to be like extreme, or Hachi if you wanted to be like the most broken. So Fog of War is going to be off because for your viewing experience and also for screen peeking reasons.
Yes.
Clear weather, so there won't be random rain or snow. Normal funds. I forgot to set a turn or capture limit, so we're going to be going until the bitter end here, and powers are on because the game is not fun if the powers aren't on. All right. Are we ready?
I'm ready. I'm going to hit move out. Also, we're playing an Advanced Wars 2 style, if that means something to someone. It does mean something, but for the most part, that doesn't mean something if you don't know. Okay.
All right.
Who gets to go first?
You get to go first.
Oh, I'm Kondai. Okay, let's see. My strategy is, it is difficult for me to spend money, so I'm going to spend it immediately and end my turn.
Oh, you poor soul. Let's see here. My transport copters are only 4K, so that's 1624. Oh, I can get 3 infantry and a transport copter. Look at me go. Oh man, Daddy will pay for it. It's all okay. All right.
Daddy? I forget who Colin's dad is in this game. Wait.
They never say.
Okay, I'm not as stupid as I thought. I was sitting here like, wait, what? Well, my turn's over already.
All right. Okay. Which one of you guys do it? Do I get another transport copter is the question. I think the answer is yes.
Steven, have you ever played Advance Wars?
I don't know anything about it. Does it have a story mode?
It does have a story mode. The story is dumb, but like a fun kind of dumb.
It's very like 90s anime dumb.
Yeah, there are literal 12-year-olds running this army that don't know how an airport works.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know. So
Sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, so you've got things like, you know, anime, like dramatic sacrifices and whatnot, and then also like characters just acting really stupid. So it's good shit. Good shit. I approve.
A lot of flirting between generals of different nations for some reason as their soldiers are mowed down.
Yeah.
Chris, before you start your next turn,
Hi.
both during your turn and then during Ted's next turn, you need to both talk as Tommy Wiseau, or at least imitate his voice.
That's true.
Because we had a donation on our last game from Justin Mon, who asked for the final. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I may suggest we hold off on that until we each have more going on. Otherwise, that'll go very quickly.
Yeah, these early turns are pretty quick.
I see. All right, we'll see.
Yeah, like I was done. This was the longest turn so far. It literally took me 2 minutes. So I would suggest waiting until we have some more interesting stuff going on.
Yeah, because at this point, we still are struggling to even establish our armies. And by we, I mean me. Ted's building up quite a force there. But like, for the most part, you know, I'm already done with my turn. Just about. But you there? You know what?
Look at this poor old man. No money.
I bought a Mac before this, so I'm a little high and dry. I'm gonna save my money. This is gonna bite me in the butt later. Check this out.
You're not gonna buy anything? Oh my god.
Someone purchasing a Mac saying this will bite me in the butt later. That's me.
98% of Steam doesn't work.
Me when I play solitaire.
Yeah, exactly. We have hi Kevin. We have $5 from Andy, who says, "Hey guys, what's a war crime?"
I'm gonna find out.
Nell won't let me play with soldiers again until I learn it. And everyone already made fun of me for learning about strategy, continents, and airports.
That is unfortunately incredibly in character.
Wow.
Oh, this is a battle copter. Okay. I'm gonna just send you all the way over there.
Wait.
I suppose.
Wait, why would you do that?
Send my battle copter across the ocean.
Yeah, you could fly to the, you know, somewhere else place.
No, I like the play I'm making currently.
I like how cute this is, even though it's about war.
Yo, same. This is the way that this game's graphics are great. I know that some people were like not huge on the like toy box aesthetic, which I can understand. It's, you know, not for everybody, but I think that it's pretty good. Can I afford another transport copter? Yo, we can. Let's go. Oh, I can even afford an interview. Oh man, playing with
Look at all the
Colin
shit I can buy, guys.
yeah, Colin just feels like playing with cheat codes. Like you got your mom's purse and you can buy whatever the hell you want.
Something cool you can do is actually zoom out, which definitely puts more focus on the toy box thing here.
Okay, so I should also explain for people who aren't as familiar with Advance Wars. So each CO has their own abilities and like special perks. The perk for my characters is that my units are worse. They have less firepower, but they're cheaper. So I have 10% less firepower than normal, but my units are 20% less expensive. Kevin's character is actually the complete inverse of that. His units are 20% more expensive.
My character's a fucking sandwich. I'm eating what?
I said we're just rolling with that, I
more
guess.
expensive.
I'm playing this game totally.
Oh, did I say Kevin? God, I meant Chris. God.
You did. You stuck to your guns. I was like, damn, all right.
Oh, I did this last year too, where I kept on calling Chris Kevin and Kevin Chris.
Take
God.
that. We have the same thoughts half the time, so that's fair.
Yeah, I can't really blame you
is it
too much on that.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at you being smart and building a copter to counter my copter.
Seeing people in
Well,
chat call
fuck you!
this Fort Condor is really hurting me since the series largely predates FF7. It's hurting me right now so much.
There we go. Alright. We'll do some of these.
I do like that with the background aesthetic. In another world, this could just be a Clubhouse Games game.
I actually have not played
damn.
Clubhouse games. Is it good?
I have no clue.
People seem to like it.
Okay. That's literally all I need. Alright. Okay.
Ranges in chat is saying, I was a little curious about something regarding the Reboot Camp remake. How well did it do sales-wise? I'm going to guess it did just well enough for Nintendo to go, okay.
And then not make another game? Yeah, that sounds about right.
How many copters are in that copter? So each unit on the map at full health is representing 5 different units. For every 2 hit points a unit loses, it loses 1 visual representation in battle. So my transport copter with 4 hit points there only has 2 transport copters in its little squadron.
I mean, a transport copter at 4 health is pretty much just as good as one at full, because it doesn't fight anyway.
Oh, wait, and that's too general anyway, because transport copters always have just 1 in a representation.
Yeah.
What I'm reading here for sales at Advance Wars, this is a Reddit post citing a Twitter editor somewhere, so don't trust it.
Great.
But supposedly early on it had already sold 400,000 copies, which would make it one of the better selling games in the series.
That's not bad.
It doesn't take much, does it?
I mean, it's
But-
never been like a huge thing. Is one of the this has never been. This is a fairly niche kind of franchise. I'm surprised they hadn't attempted to make another one after Fire Emblem blew up, though. Considering the gameplay is very similar.
Oh, the editor was that ExandShadow guy, apparently. So they actually might know.
Oh, when you said editor, I thought like
I thought like a news editor.
I
Yeah,
thought like someone who would actually know. Yeah, okay.
yeah, not just some. I feel like that they sometimes have news that they, yeah.
I only ever
I
see
don't know.
them make fake shit posts. I'm like, huh.
Okay, in which case, we've lied. I don't know.
Can you destroy bridges?
No. There's really no train manipulation at all in this game.
That'd be interesting though. That's something I don't recall the series ever trying.
There's like a volcano level where like eruptions will happen, but that's like the closest that they get to that.
As Justin points out in chat, Advance Wars is in fact the reason that Fire Emblem started to get localized, or started to be thought of for localization.
Oh yeah, that is a good point. I had completely forgotten that. Because Advance Wars did pretty well on the Game Boy Advance when they
Despite
brought it
its
over.
release date.
September
You
10th,
know,
2001. You know,
I wasn't going to bring that up, but you know, I guess that is technically true.
if we don't, someone else will. It's just the way Advanced Wars works, I'm afraid.
Well, it's important to note how cursed the series is.
Oh, I forgot that like Colin literally can't do shit.
You can't do shit, and I have a 20% offense and defense buff.
You have 30% offense and defense in Advance Wars 2.
Even better. Hey.
He's even more broken in AW2 than AW1. We're gonna do this.
Oh, Blue Dino is a good point. In Advance Wars 2, there's like pipes that go across certain maps, and some of them you can break through and navigate units through that. So that's technically terrain manipulation that you can do. I think there's like a unit or two that moves along the pipes. I never played much 2. It seems very good, but I just never got around to it. even
Yeah,
with
no,
this remake.
I think 2 is better pretty much every possible way, I would say. There's more units, more COs, more interesting choices. It's just the better game.
If it wasn't for Tears of the Kingdom, I would have did it, but that just happened to come out very soon
I felt
after.
It hurt so much to have to stop playing because Tears of the Kingdom came out. It was like, it was pretty rough. Sure, we'll do that.
But yeah, like Lurker asks in chat, this game came out right then. It did not come out in Japan for 3 years after, due to September 11th. When it came out in Japan, it was bundled with the second game at that point. This version of 1+2, the remake, was delayed due to the Ukraine conflict. What else? Advance Wars. What's the name of the last one on DS? I'm blanking all of a sudden. The really dark one.
The edgy one, right? Like
the edgy one. Days of Ruin.
Is
yes.
that it?
That never came out in Japan until years later as a Club Nintendo only reward. Like, this series is cursed.
Yeah. I mean, it had a bunch of games beforehand on like the Super Nintendo and whatever.
Bunch of Game Boy ones, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you bitch!
I didn't think that would work, but then it kind of did. I kind of accidentally fell into that one.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, I'm kind of happy about that, actually. Well, let's see. Now, if I wanted to keep this going, I can almost wipe out the infantry with you, or do this.
What if you didn't? Please don't.
So this is where we see the true push and pull of our diametrically opposed characters, in that he can spam the battlefield, but I can kind of just wipe through a bunch of them, as it turns out. So this will either make a quick, decisive victory, or we'll be here for 3 years.
I have finished munching on food, so now I'm here.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
What you say?
I have you up here doing nothing. I guess you should do something, huh? All right, let me look at this battlefield.
Do roads like speed up your ability to move?
Yeah, so each
Okay.
unit has so each square terrain space has a certain amount of movement, and depending on the type of vehicle that you have, certain, like any kind of car type vehicle like the Recon spends 1 movement to go over roads and 2 movement to go over like a plain, or 3 movement over a forest. The big thing about terrain is defense. Like roads have no defense, but cities have 30%. So on when there's Fog of War, which is how I actually prefer to play the game, but we don't. We turn it off just because it makes for better streaming. Otherwise, like you can hide in forests and stuff like that. There's a lot of depth to the strategy in this game, actually.
When I was a kid, I hated Fog of War, but the older I've gotten, the more I've appreciated it. It's like, oh, this is the way to play this game, actually.
Yeah.
At least against someone else in the campaign mode.
In the campaign, well, on the GBA,
I would cheat.
Yeah, literally cheat. Like it could literally just see where all of your units were. So it's like, okay.
Yeah. There's also just so many Fog of War missions back to back at some point too.
A lot of them. I only do 30% damage to you. Oh my god.
And I'm on a bridge. I have no defense on that spot.
Yeah. I bet you're gonna do more damage back to me than I'm gonna do to you here. Let's see.
Now here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you talked about Wargroove yet?
I have not talked about Wargroove. Wargroove seems like a pretty okay game. I have not played it yet.
That was my only thought.
These Ritz crackers are dry. Wargroove's cool. It's a weird distinction, and Days of Ruin did do this, but in Wargroove, your commanding officer is an actual unit on the field that can affect, the field, obviously. In this game, they're more of a general, how would you put it? They just apply a general buff and debuff to all of your units. They don't have as much of an impact outside of using your powers. I prefer it in Advanced Wars. I don't necessarily like it as much where in Wargroove the only difference is the unit itself by a CO. I like having an actual buff debuff thing for all of my troops depending on who I pick, because to me it just makes it a lot more interesting and important who you pick.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I never really liked it that much in how Wargroove did it either, so I can understand that. Now, I forget, does this game have the 4-player battle maps, or is it just the 2?
There are 4-player maps.
Okay, I thought so.
I think it's 2-player online only is the issue.
Oh, fun.
Really? That's dumb.
I know the online had a lot of like shortcomings that didn't help.
Like there's no like ranked play at all.
Yeah.
Which is dumb.
Like on one hand, I kind of get it because they're probably also like, hey, we know this ain't gonna sell, so why fucking try? But on the other hand, maybe if you fucking try, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the way forward team. Okay, I think now we should actually do our Tommy Wiseau impression.
What makes you say that, Ted? You must be crazy, aren't you? Okay. I'm really caught because I really want to respond to what Kevin said. I'm going to capture
so long
a city.
since I've done Tommy Wiseau.
I don't remember anything about what he sounds like or does. Oh, hi, doggy.
Oh, hi, Doug. Oh, hi, Colin.
Oh, hi, Colin. Colin, very good friend. I rescued him from Wolf.
Tommy Wiseau in Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be fascinating. Just, you've fallen into my trap card.
And place the Dark Magician in attack mode. Motherfucker, block the plane. I'm fed up with this world. Fuck.
Oh, hi, Exodia.
Oh, hi, Exodia. Chris wants to be angry. Fuck you, Ted.
No, I was gonna go in there, bitch.
Just a chicken. Cheat.
Chicken.
We should play Yu-Gi-Oh! Next event. Great question. My wife's in the hospital. Very stressful. I see you in 2 minutes.
Did he just say great question to
And then
himself?
move on. No, he was asking a doubles question.
Oh, okay.
It's your turn, motherfucker.
So how's your sex life?
I just like to watch you guys.
I was about to say that.
Oh, did you come over and throw the old pigskin around, huh? I'm just being other the room characters now to fuck with Ted. Oh, hi, Ted. I didn't know it was you.
Let me look at the
Big
money.
Shark.
Big Shark.
I cannot wait for Big Shark to hit theaters.
We
Wait,
should
what?
stream that movie for charity.
What is
No.
Big Shark?
Tommy Wiseau's 2019 movie that still hasn't come out.
What?
What he means to say is, of course, I know Big Shark. I made it.
If you go to bigsharkmovie.com, you can find info about his movie Big Shark.
TW underwear. Buy it now.
A buddy of mine worked on the behind the scenes of Big Shark.
What?
What?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Holy shit.
Steven, you're a celebrity by proxy. Tell us everything. Actually, you probably can't. Never mind.
No, I can't. I mean, I can't because he can't. So,
Ah, classic. Hashtag NDA.
yeah.
I love how Tommy Wiseau's projects just take years to come out sometimes. Most of the time. All the time.
He's like FTCR. Takes forever to.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
See, that should be the next charity room event. Just the charity room event 2024, but it happens in 2026.
We release our videos for once. Oh,
Excuse me.
don't worry about it.
Firesono says it apparently came out in April. See, I thought that, but then it came out at like a film festival in April, and then I couldn't find any place to watch it as of last month.
You fuck! Ted's Tommy was very thoughtful.
It's hard to think.
It's hard to
Trying
think.
to be like Tommy Wiseau.
Honestly, it's hard to think is a great Tommy clone. He never said it, but it sounds like something he'd say.
What's the range on this?
As a reminder, as the Tommy Wiseaus go at it in the definitely not sexual way, we have a daily raffle and event raffle where if you type !donate in the chat, you can donate $5 to win the daily raffle, to win a chance at the daily raffle, which is 1 year of Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pass membership, a $50 value. And you can also donate $20 to enter for the event raffle, the Nintendo Switch OLED Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom edition that only one copy was ever made. Don't look it up, just trust me.
It's sold out everywhere.
Yeah, you can't find it. You'll never see it again, so you should donate, and at the end of the event, we will draw the winner for that one. At the end of tonight, we'll draw the winner for the Switch Online 1 year membership.
Here, I'll tie this in. If you get that membership and make a Japanese account, you can download the original Famicom Wars through the Famicom app and try it out. It plays pretty much exactly the same as this.
And you can play Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh shit! I did not think this through.
All right, so I have an artillery now, which is a ranged unit. It's not the most powerful ranged unit, but since I'm Kanbei, since I'm Kanbei, it's actually quite a powerful ranged unit after all.
So unlike something like Fire Emblem, units can't move and shoot in the same turn in Advanced Wars. So
yes,
that's like one of the big differences between. Jesus, everything you have just hits so hard. God.
Take that. That's what you get for being different than us. Now, if I were to kill you, I can't. That was expertly trolled placement here because I can't access these cities. I can throw my troops at you to try and lower your health. You frustrate me, Ted. This is the exact kind of play that when we started doing our test game the other week, I was like, oh, wait. Ted might get me on the ropes at some point.
I gotta practice.
Yeah, you have to treat all of your units as expendable. It's like, yeah, I'll just throw you in front of block. It's fine. Your life is meaningless.
22 years of Advanced Wars versus man who played it for a few months.
I want to throw out I'm in mod view because I want to change the title so that it's very clear that I'm not playing this game. And I just see the mod action that you added as a permitted term yesterday, Chris, which was just, I fucked your mom. That's the most recent mod action.
Yeah, that was one that happened, wasn't it? Shoot. I think it was about Bentley in a wheelchair from Super Gaming Brothers, but out of context. Oh. There he is.
Ring the bell and follow him. Look.
Oh. Wait. I'm seeing an issue. Chat, let me help illuminate the issue. A glaring tactical error I've made.
Oh,
Ted's infantry unit here can capture my HQ, and if he captures my HQ, he wins.
Shit, that wasn't what I was going for, but yeah, that is a thing I can try to do, I guess.
What do you mean you weren't thinking of that?
Oh, maybe you could buy a recon to go down and are you too poor? Oh, are you lower class? Oh, it's so sad that you
unveiled his strategy before he even knew it.
You see, that's the Chris we know, always staying one step ahead of his opponent.
And himself.
I mean, you've got a copter, so like going for that would be a little foolhardy.
And I guess if we're talking like, oh, here's all the stuff a viewer may need to know. Yeah, I can heal my copter. So you saw that transport copter had 4 hit points, but I can only do it on airport spaces. So HQs and cities, I cannot heal my airborne units there.
Oh, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So even with his infantry unit, he can try and poke through if I'm not good about getting someone down there. Also, fuck you.
Yeah.
So does that attack count as you just as an attack action and not a movement action too then? What Ted just did on stream?
So direct attacks can happen the same turn, but indirect attacks like this artillery, they have to stop. And yeah, it's a difference between those types of units.
Gotcha. We do have a couple donations that just popped up. We have $1 from Adder is the smartest and sexiest CO alive.
An Adder fan, interesting.
Okay, sure.
We have $10 from Vanilla the Rabbit 98 in Tommy Wiseau voice.
Oh, yeah.
Good story, guys. Anyway, I have a question for Ted. Have you finished Pikmin 4? And if so, any opinions about it? Also, fun fact, the other convention that's going on today in my state has Mark from the Room movie as one of the guests.
Oh, shit.
Thank you.
Go.
I have finished Pikmin 4. It's good. I think I kind of understand a little bit better what my issue was with it. It's don't get me wrong, it's still a great game. I think part of my issue is that it doesn't really evolve the series in a meaningful way in the same way that Pikmin 3 did. Because Pikmin 3 did a lot to really bring the series forward, and Pikmin 4 is kind of just it's another Pikmin game. So in that sense, wait, did I just put my medium tank in fucking artillery fire like a fucking baboon?
I was hoping you wouldn't notice, yes.
Oh, god damn it, I'm such a goddamn idiot. Okay. Fuck. Okay.
If we were any other CEOs, that would still be a good move, but unfortunately you are Colin, so that was not a good move.
Yeah.
Also, hi, Stefan.
Speaking of COs, before you come back to your thought, Ted, we do have $5 from Chef Kilo related to COs. Hey, Steven, Stefan, Kevin, Ted, Chris, MykonosFan, fan of Mykonos, not Mykonos in real life, Greece, but Mykonos of Sonic Unleashed, full name, by the way. If there is time for another match, could we see the two worst COs battle it out? Either Flack, Jess, or Adder will work.
Oh.
I'm going to say we probably won't have time for another match, but if we do,
because we end at 8, right?
Yeah. I don't have any of them unlocked, I don't think might be the issue.
So then Ted has to handicap himself.
Yeah, I feel you know what?
That's thinking.
So I haven't played Pikmin 4, but I'm also not a huge Pikmin guy, I'll say.
I
enjoy it. Go ahead.
Wait, what? Hold on the phone. The infantry killed the battle. Oh my god.
I have highly trained units, Ted.
Yeah, but what were you saying, Kevin?
No, I was just saying, I played a good bit of 3. I never went back to play the other ones, just because I enjoyed the game, but I think I just put it down and then never came back to it. One of those games.
Yeah.
So 4 always seemed to me like they were maybe not trying to play it safe per se, but they were trying to, hey, it's a Switch game now, so we know it's going to do really well with a different audience, so why don't we go simple?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That makes
for lack
sense.
of a better word. Not like simple, but you know what I mean. Accessible, I guess, is the better word.
Yeah.
Because that's been every Switch game. I mean, the Switch is reviving series left and right. Outside of Dread. Dread wasn't simple or accessible, but it also was, if you look at it at its core, a more linear Metroid game than it lets on, which I think is a fine thing, personally. But
and in both of those series' cases, they've made a lot of each series available on the Switch, so that it's really easy to then jump from like a Pikmin 4 to Pikmin 1, 2, and 3 and feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, because I think Pikmin 3 Deluxe, or whatever the Switch version was called, I don't know that it did, amazingly hot. I know it did well. Let me look it up.
It did better than the Wii U version, not that that's saying much. I think it was the best-selling Pikmin game at that point.
It's sold over 2 million copies as of the end of 2021. Okay, yeah, so it did
about
very
as well as the GameCube games. Honestly.
I got the luck hit there. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ted. That sucks.
It's okay.
For you.
I also outnumber you. I think 2-1 still at this point.
Let me have
Chris,
this.
Nick asks if you can lower the game audio just a little bit.
Oh, yes. Oh, it did creep up, didn't it? Sorry about that.
That's really cool. That it would have been 2 million was the best-selling Pikmin game, and then it's done at least better since then. But we don't know what legacy sales are like in the last 2 years.
I would really like to see what the sales on Pikmin 1 and 2 are.
well, so get this.
On
Pikmin
1 and 2
4's
on Switch, I should say.
Yeah. Pikmin 4's first week sales in Japan were more of the previous 3 games combined. So, there you go. That's already selling really well. Yeah, so that makes sense. It really tracks with Nintendo's strategy with the Switch, just to, hey, these games are going to reach an audience they never have before, so why don't we not make it super core? Like, it's the same issue that Sony's had with a lot of PlayStation series if they try and go back to them. It's like, how do you do that when you know that most players have never played one of these games? More people have played Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom than any other Zelda combined. Like, it's just one of those things, and it's insane to say with something like Zelda, you know, one of those tentpole franchises. Mario's not obviously the same, but Odyssey still did insanely well, and it just changes the perception of what one of those games can be, even if they are just an evolution of the similar base gameplay facets. You know what I mean? So, in that regard, Pikmin 4 being a game that maybe doesn't appeal as much to like a core fan like you, Ted, makes sense, I think.
Yeah, and again, not saying the game is bad. Game is fantastic.
Yeah, just like you wanted a little more.
Yeah.
Which is fair, because that game's been in development for like 10 years. So,
What are you talking about? It's been almost done for 5.
yeah, like straight up. Wait until they put Hey Pikmin Deluxe on Switch.
Fuck you.
Or the Pikmin HD movie on Wii U and put that on Switch.
Oh, I did not think that through, huh? For some reason, I registered that and was like, yeah, I can move that there safely. No, I cannot. I definitely could not.
Anti-air's supposed to one-shot copters, for the record.
Yeah, just for anyone's reference watching.
Yeah. Oh, we can capture this.
You popped 2 gold rushes. Remind me, because I'm not familiar with 2. What does that do for you?
So it takes my current money, and it multiplies it by 1.5.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I had like 20-something, 20K-ish funds, and now I've got like 40K. So what that means is I can do that and that.
Yeah, that's not good.
So Metroid Dread getting like just under 3 million sales is like, oh, that is pretty good in like a bubble. And then you look at because I'm looking at the list, and then right above it at 3.20 million, Among Us.
Among Us?
No, it's genuinely wild when you look at, like, again, Metroid's always one of those series that we just see in like that pedestal, but then it never really performed amazingly well.
Yeah, no, Metroid has always been one of those series that is more popular than it is successful. Like, more popular with fans than it is actually, like, successful.
I still love that Scarlet and Violet is about to outsell Sword and Shield, despite being 3 years newer.
Well, that's because Sword and Shield sucks. So
And with Sword and Shield being like the second best-selling Pokemon games.
Yeah, like this Scarlet and Violet have a chance to fucking catch up to.
Did they really outsell all of the Gen 1 games though? At this point,
if you count Red, Blue, and Yellow and Green and other Blue, then no, I don't think so. But they come close if you hold on to it.
Damn. Okay.
But Yellow really just kind of resets the whole thing. Because I think if I go here, I'll pull it up. I think red, green, and blue was 31 million, and then yellow's another 15 million.
Yeah.
So,
the thing I see says red, green, blue, and yellow combined is about 47 million.
Yeah. So it could catch up with just the 2 games. There's a chance it could catch up over time to Gen 1. But the fact that it passed Gen 2 is insane.
Yeah, gold, silver, and crystal combined, that's just under 30 million.
Yeah.
Ted?
And the third versions are now tougher to kind of compare to, which is it's an interesting like Pokemon discourse thing now.
Ted, what are you doing?
What?
What are you doing, friend?
Oh, there's an infantry by that. There's an infantry by that HQ. You should do something about that and let me get this airport in peace.
Ted, what are you doing? Think about all the good times we've had.
Oh yeah, like that health item that I could have eaten at that in Streets of Rage.
Look, we all make
Um,
mistakes.
While I'm on this sales page,
Yeah, your
I just wanna
mistake was
point out-
leaving your HQ unguarded.
While I'm on the sales page, I just want to point out that Ring Fit outsold Splatoon 2
Fuck you.
and 3.
Ring
But
Fit
3
went hard.
says- Yeah. Ring Fit came at the right time. They knew.
Ring Fit was like, I remember that there was like a stock shortage for that.
Yeah.
For a while. That was like
Yeah.
right during the pandemic, right? Was
Yeah,
Ring
because it
Fit?
came out in October, and then it went really heavily out of shock once gyms closed. Out of stock, not out of shock.
Oh fuck! You've got your super. Shit.
And New Super Mario Brothers U somehow being like the most behind
Just right
on
above it,
Odyssey.
yeah. That doesn't surprise me. 2D Mario will always do.
Were they talking new deluxe? You're talking
Yeah.
about?
Yes.
Okay, I'm expecting Wonder to be one of the best-selling Mario games of all time.
I hope so. I hope it at least beats you.
I hope it beats the new games because the new games are not very good.
I would be
One and
surprised.
we are good.
I would be surprised if it doesn't pass U Deluxe. The only reason it wouldn't is if we are getting close to new hardware and it doesn't have time to catch up. That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, I don't think that matters too much in a lot of the grand scheme of things because old hardware will sometimes like people bought Wii games up through the beginning of the Switch's life, you know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But in a lot of cases, those aren't like new sales at that point.
yeah.
Like there are only so many copies that they're going to keep printing at a point. So then those copies are considered sold well before they're actually sold because they're sold into retailers.
Oh,
know?
okay.
So like for example, with a case like I don't know, like a Just Dance, for example, Just Dance would have they would have printed however many copies of like let's say Just Dance 3 or whatever, and then once they've sold all their copies to the stores, that's all the sales that game's going to have unless they print more. But you might still see copies on shelves. Like I've seen copies of the GTA PS2 trilogy sealed at Walmart. That's been considered sold for years, you know, because it's 15 years old, 20 years old almost. But as far as Walmart's concerned, they haven't made their money on that. But, you know, Take-Two has.
It's also pretty crazy to think that Mario Kart 8 specifically is the 6th highest selling game of all time.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, it's if you just do 8 Deluxe, it's already up there. But 8 and Deluxe combined are like what 80 million? No, I'm sorry, 70 million.
To 0.2 million.
Did 8 regular not sell that well? I thought 8 sold like as many copies.
I mean,
Oh,
it
no.
sold well for the Wii U.
Yeah, no, I'm getting the Wii U sales wrong. I'm thinking
Yeah,
the GameCube. Never mind, ignore me.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was 54 million, and then I
Yeah.
believe it was like 17 million, which is like it's a lot for the Wii U, just not a lot for.
Okay, if it's 17, I'm not crazy then. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Just Deluxe makes it the 7th highest, seventh best selling game of all time, and with the original 8, it makes it the 6th best selling game of all time. Just either above or below the original Mario Brothers. That's how good it is.
Nintega said, "Imagine the Switch becoming the best-selling system of all time." I mean, it's going to happen. It's not an if. It's going to. It's already close. What's the system's lifetime sales at? It's 125 million currently. So they're only 30 million behind.
Yeah, PS2
So-
is like 155-ish, I think.
It's it's interesting when you look at it because I said this. There was a question we had during the Ratchet stream about like the PlayStation exclusives performance and PS5 sales and all that, and it's fascinating looking at like if you look at the aligned sales of like the PS5, the Xbox Series, the Switch, they're all actually pretty close. Like the Xbox is behind because it doesn't really have as much of an attachment in general Europe and Japan, obviously, but then. For a while, the PS5 was neck and neck with where the Switch was when it launched, even with the COVID stuff, shortening supply. So it was really fascinating to look at because it's like, man, we always thought home consoles were going to die, especially like in Japan, where like Japan moved towards handhelds over time, and then the PS5 is like doing really well there as well. It's really interesting because like they'll both break like 120, 130 million easy.
Yeah, according to this, it says 90 million. About 90 million is the original Switch. 20 million for Switch Lite and 15 million for the OLED.
Yeah, that tracks.
I think something people shouldn't discount either. A lot of consoles don't go on discount very hard these days near the end. Like you can still find PS4s for a bit of a hefty price. But if Nintendo does announce their next one and wants that spot, they can say fuck it and slash Switch prices and they will easily get there.
Yeah, no, it'll get there probably not end of next year, but the end of the year after, I'm going to guess, because I think they're still doing 15 to 20 million per year. I know it's slowed down a tiny bit. But yeah, it's interesting because like even the Series X, like I said this on that Ratchet stream, like people were Phil Spencer talks about, oh, woe is me, the Xbox isn't selling that well, we've already lost. But then if you look, it's like it was on pace to become the best-selling Xbox easily.
To interject really quickly, I realized I didn't keep up with it. We have Bid Wars. Where's our Mario Party one at?
Let me look.
I was just thinking, like, I don't know which game I need to load up actually.
Yeah, okay, so Wario's Battle Canyon is still in the lead at $220, but Western Land is pretty close behind at $207.
Ooh.
So just $14, just $14 will put $14 into Western Land. That'll beat it. That'll beat Battle Canyon. And that'll be closing off at 9 o'clock right after Mario Brothers.
Okay. Sorry, that was a long turn. My apologies.
And also closing off. Closing off also at the end of Mario Party. The two other Bid Wars will be closing off. The Hitman Kill Everyone Challenge, which right now Miami's in a pretty massive lead, and also the Bloodstained Curse of the Moon Bid War will be closing off. And 1 and 2 are very close. 1 is winning right now at 575, while Curse of the Moon 2 is 549. So that one just needs about like $26 to edge out 1. So yeah, and you have that till the end of today, and then that'll be closing off. And so then that will just leave the only bid war we will have left will be the Smash Ultimate Stage Select, which has Great Cave Offensive currently in the lead. And once we reach $10,000, we will unlock the Sonic Origins Character Select Bid War.
I see there's some discussion. We've started a sales talk with all the different consoles, and it's actually very positive. So thank you guys for being normal. But Dragoon Knight mentioned one interesting thing about the PS5 in Japan is that systems are selling much better, but game sales are way down. I think that might be so Sony doesn't really disclose their sales anymore. No one does, but their COVID marked the first time that, not counting mobile, digital sales completely outpaced physical sales, and they're not going back. So we're never going to have accurate sales numbers for games ever again, which
That's depressing.
I find very sad because I find that stuff fascinating. But
it's also just good for consumers too to know.
Yeah.
Like, because that's the big thing about the writer's strike is, we don't actually know how well any show is doing.
Yeah.
Either. So.
And if they cave on that, there's going to be a big. If the Hollywood, if Hollywood caves on that, that's good. There's going to be some interesting reckonings that happen once people find out. Oh, all these shows don't get that many views. Oops.
Well, they're not all designed to make views. Like Amazon made the Lord of the Rings show knowing that it wasn't going to win back its budget, just as a show to like prove that Prime has content worth watching.
Yeah. I'm mainly looking at Netflix because from what I understood, the prevailing rumor was that Netflix was the only studio that was adamantly like, we're not caving. The other ones were all willing to like compromise to some capacity. So that probably means that Netflix has the most to lose by people finding out their legacy numbers.
Yeah, because I do know Disney Plus and Max and Paramount Plus. They do put out like Nielsen ratings of these are our views and stuff. So they do have like public views of all their things, but it's like obviously they're not completely accurate because of the way the whole streaming thing works. But they do put out numbers, and it's like those numbers do kind of like. They look accurate. It's like it's especially when they be like, oh yeah, this one didn't do that well. So it's like they're not lying. They're not like it's like they're not like they're probably exaggerating somewhat, but they're not like being all like, oh, we're completely fabricating the system. But yeah, Netflix Netflix seems to, because Netflix always does their whole, this is our most watched thing ever. And it's like, okay, did they just watch it for the first 5 minutes and then shut it off, or something like that?
We need an average view duration on the YouTube backend, but for Netflix.
Yeah, like I want to see like every series analytics.
Let me see your click-through rate, Netflix. You piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good about this match.
I could say the same exact thing.
What are you talking about? You just got the airport next to my base.
Yeah, but I can't kill anything you have.
Well, you know, I mean, take some, you leave some.
Nintega asks, when streaming goes under, when, what do you think will replace it? I don't think that streaming's going to go under. I think there's going to be an interesting, again, reckoning might be the right word, because a lot of these, we talked about this before too on one of these streams. Like a lot of the streaming services are losing money hand over fist just to try and get market share. So I don't know where we go immediately from that, but we're already in like a pseudo new age of cable where you have to have multiple a la carte subscription services. But the difference is, unlike cable, you can just cancel them all and just pick one at a time, which is the correct way to do it if you don't want to waste money.
Yeah, and I feel like there's also the thing like that people forget about streaming services. Like they're like, oh, like why don't I just go to cable? And it's like, wasn't the whole thing the reason people didn't like cable is because cable is always on a very strict schedule, and it's like, oh, if you miss it, you just gotta hope that it comes back on. But on streaming, you can watch whatever you want, whenever you want. It's like that's what people want. So it's like, it's this whole thing of people kind of forgetting what they wanted in the first place. So that's why it's like streaming's not gonna go anywhere, but it's the way the streaming productions and the business behind it is handled, that's gonna change. So it's like, I definitely believe that we're gonna get us very slow down on the amount of streaming only productions existing, and maybe being like, let's at least do like the smart thing that HBO did for the longest time and then did again with The Last of Us, of like, let's put our thing on TV and then like a few hours later we'll put it on the service. So it's like, oh, you missed it, here you go, you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. I think there's also some element of like one of the things that a lot of people had issue with cable was that you don't, it's not even just like a strict thing, because like once DVR existed, it wasn't as big of a deal as long as you remembered to DVR things. It was also the fact that you're paying for stuff that you actively don't want. So a lot of cable packages would have sports included, so you're paying all of the sports leagues their cut out of your cable bill when you're never going to consume them. That's no different with Fox News. Fox News has bullied a bunch of telecoms frequently because they're like, we're going to make our cut. You need to pay us $5 per user or whatever, which is why then you see cable bills go up, because that's part of that contract, is that they want that much money per subscription. And so it's an interesting internal politics that happens to get each of these different companies their own rate out of things. Like the Cooking Network or the Food Network and the Cooking Channel, whatever, have a separate package half the time because that's a separate premium that they need to be paid. It's fascinating. I think the next big question is going to be whether streaming services start taking up sports leagues in the same sort of internal political struggle. Because if you see the NFL go to Netflix, that's going to change a lot for a lot of people.
Sounds like Netflix could use it, to be honest.
Yeah, and they've been testing the waters for live content here and there. But the moment they get the NFL, or if they were to get the NFL, that's a big hiccup that suddenly happens. I don't think that they would necessarily. I don't think they have the money to put in to be like, hey, we exclusively get the NFL.
Doesn't Peacock already have both the Olympics and European soccer? Because those are huge too.
They do, because NBC already had the pre-existing contracts with them, so that made it easier. Same with Peacock has all the WWE stuff.
I mean, sports is the biggest thing because there was like this big thing about, oh, Disney's losing all this money in Indonesia. It's like, it's because they lost the rights to cricket.
Exactly.
Which is huge in like, I think Indonesia, India maybe? I don't remember the country.
Yeah,
Yeah, AEW literally just mentioned that.
Asian countries.
Yeah.
I guess they're like, we want our cricket, damn it.
It's so interesting because I'm like Ranges or Ranges, let me know how to pronounce that. Sorry if I got it wrong. Mentioned Paramount Plus, has CBS Sports, like all the legacy networks that have started their own streaming services. They have the leg up on a Netflix, for example, because they have those contracts set in. But then those are the ones that are losing the most money, trying to get a foot in the door and get some market share. Like Paramount Plus, I don't know that it's going to be here in 3 years. They have the money that they might hang on to it, but it could easily just die. Which would suck because the Avatar: The Last Airbender cinematic universe is the main thing carrying the Nickelodeon side of that.
Yeah, that's a statement.
At least that one has a confirmed like theatrical release. Like the movie is going to be in theaters.
Yeah.
Coin rush.
Oh, and JC mentioned the Knuckle show as well. Yeah. And also, JC mentioned a moment ago to go back to digital sales. Talking about all this stuff reminded them of Hi-Fi Rush, where they said it gains 2 million players, but not total sales. So people were debating whether or not the game sold well. That one makes sense because Xbox games don't sell anymore. You have Game Pass. Like, that's their model. In the same way as a Netflix, like they just want the subscription. And we'll never know what the income is like. We'll never know the internal details. It just kind of is.
Yeah, and it's always this thing of like, oh, like I like there's a lot of like the very clearly wrong about like the things like, oh, they're doing this thing wrong, you have to do this, you have to do this. There's also like certain things like, oh, there are certain things made like because of the way the streaming service system works. It's like, oh, certain projects are able to be greenlit and like released that probably would never have existed otherwise.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like so, like I'm thinking like with Netflix being all like, yeah, we're gonna like greenlight all of these projects that filmmakers have been trying to do that like just nobody else would like even touch because they're like, we don't see this as making money, and they're just like, well, we don't want to make money, we don't want to make money off of that thing, we just want you to help our thing. So it's like, yeah, we'll just spend however many millions of dollars. Like, yeah, like something like Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, something he's wanted to do for so long, but nobody would back it because, hey, stop motion films make zero money. So, but they're like, well, we don't care about that. Here you go. Here's your money. Go make it.
Yeah.
Oh, Ted.
Go ahead. There's
I was just gonna say, Ted was making like the exact right moves into that bomber thing. I'm like, I don't know if that's the play, but I appreciate the candor
This
and trying.
artillery's been so goddamn annoying. I can't go over the bridge. Why? What would you have blown up?
I would have probably just focused on the tanks because my artillery couldn't have hit your bomber anyway.
Well, no, I'm not worried about the artillery hitting my tank. Like, I can't push forward with the Neo tank if the artillery's there. It's fucking annoying, man.
You've moved yourself into my territory, is all I'll say. Anyway, sales docs.
No. By all means, cut us off if there's game things happening. We'll ramble forever. Dragoon and I mentioned in chat that they wonder what the game profit for developers is with Game Pass. Like, is it how many plays? Is it play time? As far as public info, like you said, we don't really know. Internally, I've heard a lot of indie publishers or developers specifically have said that Game Pass will often just completely subsidize the budget of the game as long as it comes to Game Pass. Ideally Game Pass first, but not. Sometimes it's just if it comes to Game Pass at all, because Microsoft seems to implicitly know at this point, and it's been part of their plan, if we're being real, that they're not trying to get game sales anymore. They're trying to get Game Pass subs because it costs X amount of dollars to convert somebody to a subscription, and then those people generally don't leave.
It's funny.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's funny because I was saying earlier, like, I still have my Game Pass, even though I'm definitely using it incorrectly, because I'm not using it to play like expensive or new things. Like, I just keep it there because I'm like, well, I still want access to these.
Yeah, no, same. Like, I should use Game Pass more, but I just don't. And actually, my Steam Deck, even though it doesn't technically play Game Pass games, I'm streaming games on my Steam Deck via Game Pass more than I was playing them prior on my PC, simply because it's just convenient.
Because lately I've just been playing like Yakuza games, and those all cost like $10, $5, you know. So, whoops.
It's weird seeing all this stuff. Like, I think of Apple completely defunding, or not defunding, Jesus, completely funding Fantasian from the Sakaguchi. Which, hey, that's a weird thing in a vacuum too. But it's just so weird that we're in that world right now. I can't hit anything with my artillery.
Apple's a
Yeah.
great example of that too, because Apple, I mean, if there's anybody besides Microsoft, obviously, that has the fuck you money to just destroy the industry however they want to, it's Apple. And not that I say destroy in terms of like a negative thing, but in terms of they could easily just get a foothold in. That's the same thing they're doing with Apple TV Plus. Like they are trying to just get themselves in the door to keep you in that like walled garden ecosystem. And if they can get you in there, then you'll stay there. That's why Death Stranding is coming to Mac, like of all games. Because if you can get if you can get your foot in the door and you can get a bunch of developers to start making stuff for you, and actually, it's just what I was going to say a bit ago. It reminds me a lot in the gaming space of the mid /90s, starting in the PS1 era, where every single major production company of sorts, so Viacom / Paramount, Universal, for example, Fox TV had a gaming division for a while, like 20th Century Fox. All these different companies got involved big time and gave blank checks to everybody to just get us a foot in the door. And that's sort of what I feel now when you see stuff like Apple putting, billions of dollars, which is a drop in the bucket for a company with a market cap of what, 2.5 trillion?
Holy crap.
It's like they are the number one company, period, I'm pretty sure, unless Microsoft is still neck and neck. Let me look it up. Let me get it correct.
Let's
3 trillion.
find out.
Yeah, it's Apple.
Croc was produced by Fox.
Yeah, Croc was a Fox property. Universal was the studio responsible for Crash and Spyro, which then led to Sony eventually procuring Naughty Dog and eventually Insomniac. There were just so many blank checks.
I feel like so many people are used to the Universal Studios interactive production that they always forget that, it's that Universal.
Yeah, like straight up. And it's funny because that Universal then became Vivendi, which became Activision. It's like a weird circle because like Universal saw the writing was on the wall and they didn't have a foot in the door enough, so they said, fuck it, we don't care anymore, and just dipped out. And yeah, so to go to Apple and Microsoft's market cap, Apple's is 3 trillion, Microsoft's is 2.5. So
Wow.
the entirety of the budget for every video game that currently exists would be nothing to either of these companies, which is why you see them just dipping their toe in and saying, look, we have this sort of money that we can just throw away and people won't notice.
I guess that makes sense though, since Apple sells like a lot more physical stuff than Microsoft does.
Yeah. Plus, Apple has a huge. I keep saying foot in the door, but it's the right thing here. They have a huge foot in the door with all those grants they gave to local schools to get kids on the Apple ecosystem early. So they donated a bunch of even when I was in middle school going into high school, they started donating around that time Macs and iPads and whatnot to seem like the good guy for one. But then on the back end, it's also, well, if we get these kids to know how Apple's infrastructure works, they might be more likely to stay in that walled garden.
That's interesting. Like this whole time I thought, why did my school spend money on these expensive computers? They didn't.
No, they were free.
Because I remember a big barrier for me when I finally learned what Macs were, right? And I went to a Best Buy to use one. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. But if I had one as a kid, yeah.
It just immediately. And it's not even like Blue Dino said, good luck breaking Windows. It's not even like breaking Windows necessarily, because if you raise an entire generation to use Apple more, over time, that you don't need to take over Windows. And I don't think Apple even wants to take over. I mean, I'm sure they do in terms of money, but I'm sure they don't want to take over the whole marketplace because Microsoft does a bunch of direct-to-business business. That was why the whole thing with the Activision Blizzard buyout getting blocked by the UK's consumer marketing agency was an issue because a lot of people like to think, oh, well, Microsoft can just say fuck you and not sell Xbox games in the UK and they'll still win. But no, it's Microsoft wouldn't be allowed to operate in the UK anymore if they disobey the CMA. Which is why you see them now negotiating. And they already were trying to negotiate, but that's why the CMA is like, I don't want to say going against their usual precedent, but they're kind of, they're opening the conversation back up, which usually you don't see them do. But it's because they don't want to be the only ones that block this still.
I'd love to have more to say about this, but Ted and I are having a really good game. I'm just so caught up in this. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
I know.
I never said I was a good Advance Wars player. For the record.
If you're watching on stream, it looks like we're just inching back and forth across this middle point, but we're making so many moves that are fucking over the other on like a
Just unit to unit level. Warfare.
Yeah. Oh.
Shout out to Crawler, by the way, for the $5 donation. No comment, but thank you so much, Crawler.
Thank you, Crawler.
Advance Wars is just chess with guns.
See, on the left, see, Chris is Apple and Ted is Microsoft. They're fighting over supremacy in the computer space.
And all my units cost a lot more for no good reason.
Holy shit,
that
works.
sounds like Apple.
We have a first-time chat from Gruntcatcher, great name. Working as a professional graphic designer now, the industry standard is all Macs, but my boss hates them, so we use Windows setups. It works just as well. Yeah, there was even like what we did in our computer classes back in high school was we dual booted all of our Macs with Windows just because the programming infrastructure wasn't really there for what people were like learning or teaching.
That was back when Mac was using Intel processors, I bet, right?
I would assume so, yeah. I don't think that's as easy anymore, if possible at all.
I'm sure it's possible. It's just not very easy now.
Yeah. I've heard stories about the Apple processors versus the Intel ones.
I mean, so what Grunt is saying about, graphic design and stuff, yeah, that's mostly true. But it's crazy how fast my Mac Studio is at editing video or video playback rather. Like when you have your video loaded into your into Premiere or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's no delay at all. Even like when it used to be sort of a headache for me to edit MP4 footage, so basically any type of game footage on PC, but like it's instant on my Mac and it's awesome.
That sounds nice.
Same thing for me.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me.
Like you have to have such higher specs on a PC to do anything that the Macs do pretty natively on weak level hardware. It's just that Apple's done such a good job at catering that to the creatives.
No.
Get fucked.
But yeah, that's the whole reason why I bought a Mac is because I do this stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like if I had the disposable income to do so and relearn the Mac ecosystem, I probably would get a Mac for editing stuff.
Yeah.
But for me personally, the trade-off is that spending that money isn't necessarily worth the slight performance increase. That sort of thing,
Yeah.
Especially when I'm recording games off my PC anyway.
I also just hate the interface. I know that that's a preference thing, but I just don't like the way Mac stuff
It's just because you're not used to it.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like I just don't like it.
I still use Vegas because go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, there's also like things that PCs can do, or at least do much more easily than Macs. Like, say for example.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Like that's why there's a reason why I stream on my crappy PC than on my good Mac, because you got shit like, oh, you can't stream audio because fuck you, and like all that stuff. And then also the fact that on Steam, like half of my Steam library doesn't work on my Mac.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta play them on PC, so it's like
to go full circle. That's why Apple's investing so much in not so much, but investing as much as they are in games is because they know that if they had a slight foothold in the gaming space, that would make huge dividends.
I do enjoy like just the slight irony. It's not completely ironic because it's like it's business, it's making money, so of course there's going to be compromises. But Double Fine was purchased by Microsoft, and then after that purchase, it was funny to see Psychonauts 2 come out on Apple, and I'm like, what? That's funny.
I love when stuff like that happens.
Yeah,
it's one of those where Microsoft really didn't have a say in that regard. Because I was going through who was the publisher for that one? Shit.
I am 8-bit.
Was it them? Fuck.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I know I am 8-bit did something. They did a release.
The physical. Oh no, maybe it is I am 8-bit. Huh.
I'm pretty sure we did. Didn't Xbox Game Studios produce?
Oh, you know what? Okay, yeah. So Xbox Game Studios did eventually end up being the final publisher, but I think they had. I think it was Deep Silver was involved before that, and I think maybe Microsoft bought out the contract because the game got delayed as much as it did. or not delayed, but pushed
Yeah.
back from whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Ooh.
always interesting seeing that, or like with Call of Duty, you're gonna see the Xbox splash screen come up on Call of Duty soon for PlayStation 5 and Switch.
Yeah, and I know. Scott made a video like a while back of like, oh, these are games where it's like, oh, like the games with like, oh, another company's logo on another thing. Like I think what is it like that PlayStation owns the rights to? I think like MLB The Show.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
like, oh, it was finally on a Microsoft, so you have PlayStation logo on an Xbox One game.
That was I actually have the first MLB The Show on Xbox because I saw it for $5, and I was like, I have a bunch of Xbox games on other systems. I kind of want to have a PlayStation game on Xbox and just get as many as I can. Yeah.
Oh, it says Psychonauts 2 was going to be published by Starbreeze Studios, but then they got bankrupt.
Okay, that interesting. I thought Deep Silver had a connection somewhere in there too. I'm
Well,
probably
Deep
wrong.
Silver's everywhere, so
Yeah. And that's the other side. We didn't even talk about the fact, like any of the Embracer Group stuff that's now also taking a lot of the gaming space. There's so much there where it's like Embracer owns pretty much everything now. I'm still surprised that Gex is happening without their consent because they own Gex now, as far as we know. But it's a Square published limited run thing, which is weird.
Oh, I think you're confusing Deep Silver because Payday 3 is now being published by Deep Silver. That was originally developed.
I forgot Payday existed,
Yeah.
so I don't think it was that.
Okay.
There was something. One of the 1,000 of buyouts that Microsoft had in 2018 was a Deep Silver thing. I might be thinking of Outer Worlds 2 wouldn't have been Deep Silver, but Outer Worlds 1 was. If that's what it was. I forget if they did that one or not, but whoever did Outer Worlds is probably what I'm thinking of. Because
Outer Worlds is
2 will be Xbox.
Private Division.
Private Division. Thank you. That's what I'm thinking of. Not Deep Silver.
And they're
Either
doing
way.
they're publishing Penny's Big Breakaway,
I also don't know what that is.
the next game by Christian Whitehead.
Oh, neat. Oh, that one. Okay, yeah.
That's like the Sonic Adventure looking 2D platformer with the yo-yo, 3D platformer with the yo-yo, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. I just forgot the name because the name's not super memorable.
Yeah.
Speaking of not super memorable, I'm gonna go run to the restroom. I'll be back.
Yeah, somebody had mentioned a second game. I don't think that's happening. Yeah.
Of what?
Outer
Of
Worlds
Advance
2?
Wars.
Oh.
Yeah.
It sure
I
would be
think-
nice, but yeah.
No, that city, that should be yours because it's on your side of the map.
I'd
Yeah,
say
all it says was it was announced 2 years ago, and that's it.
I'd say if we're lucky, we'll get remakes of the DS games, and that's if we're lucky.
Which DS games?
Dual Strike and Days of Ruin.
I think that it's possible that we could get another advanced, like a new Advance Wars game, because honestly, the most important thing is the engine, which they have.
Yeah.
Like literally, I think that it's definitely very. Oh, you asshole!
Fuck you.
I think a remake. Well, Dual Strike also has its weird like two
Map thing going on.
Yeah, I think that a remake of Days of Ruin would be a lot more to ask for because the assets would need to look completely different because of the setting.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be as easy. My only thought is like that's a lot less work than designing a whole new game. But
Well, I would say in terms of a new game with the same cast and the same basic look. Oh no! Please don't. Please. That Rocket has a family. Rocket has a family, Chris.
you know, my mom's name is Lois too. I really want to, because I'm looking.
Why would you say that name? Why did you say that name?
That's really overextending, but I don't really have a lot of other option right now. So what if I did this?
Then I can't do shit because you're... Okay, so with that, combat units have, I think, like 60% defense, and defense is better than firepower in Advanced Wars math if you've ever looked it up. Like, if you have plus 20% defense and I have plus 20 firepower, I will actually do less damage. Are you going to one-shot that? Okay, no, thank God. All right.
Most likely not, no. I also get a better counterattack. So on top of my defense, if you try and attack my tank, you'll probably whittle it down, but boy, you're going to feel it.
Blue Dino says 1.5 times counterattack is what they believe.
Oh, God.
And Underman just
160%.
Wait,
Yeah, and then you can stack terrain on top of that. It's broken.
Wait, what did I say?
Hell. No, you said the same thing. He just gave the 1.5 times as the exact.
I was thinking like, wait. Oh. Yeah.
I came back just too late to hear, well, what if I tried this? And my first thought was...
I have one idea for how I can end this.
It's still at like 4 HP. Like,
fuck it.
To go back and potentially close out the whole Microsoft and Apple foothold in the industry thing, there was a theory that, Chris, I believe you were around when I first started positing this theory back in like 2017, 2018, which was that, I think it was 2018, where they made all those buyouts, and my theory was that those buyouts were going to lead to them buying out EA. So I was wrong on that. It was Activision. But that the idea would be that if they bought out EA, they would then have the rights for Madden and for FIFA.
oh,
And with that in mind, they could then force Sony's hand and say, look, we are going to require an Xbox login for these games, just like how Ubisoft has logins for their games. So the Xbox internal infrastructure will now have to be compatible with PlayStation to get a foot in the door for Game Pass on PlayStation. I think I'm still kind of the belief that's the case, just now it's with Call of Duty instead. Because the end game is that Microsoft and even internally, I don't think Xbox really cares about game sales or hardware sales. They have a chance now with Call of Duty that next gen, not next gen anymore because they did the 10-year deal, but if they hadn't done the 10-year deal, they could have done a thing where next gen Call of Duty is exclusive to the Xbox Series 2. And then that could have started turning the tide a little bit, which is why you then saw Sony immediately buy Bungie to have something like a Destiny to counteract that. But it seems like it's just going to be a bunch of cross promotion-y type stuff. My theory, though, was that the end game was always for Microsoft to get Game Pass onto both the Nintendo and Sony ecosystems, and that part of that was that they would try and get Rare Replay on the Switch to get a foot in the door there. I was wrong about that so far, but they did put Banjo on the N64 library as well as GoldenEye.
Banjo-Kazooie.
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 what is that from? That Banjo-Kazooie? Like, what is that?
That's Nick Offerman talking about the one video game he ever played.
Banjo-Kazooie. Nick Off, he's a Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec. He was in he was in the Last of Us show, and that was from an interview. I forget if it was Kimmel or Fallon or somebody, but he was like on an interview talking about like, oh yeah, like the one video game I played I got really sucked into was Banjo-Kazooie, and it was like I hated how much I got sucked into it, so I never played another video game again.
Really? Interesting strategy here, Ted. I see you're tired of our little tap dance in the middle.
Why would I ever be tired of the tap dance in the middle? Why would I ever try to win the game via some other route? That sounds silly.
We may need to think of a alternate way of declaring a victory here.
Yeah,
on...
the game has that, aka a turn limit and a property count. It would have been great if somebody had remembered to put those alternate win conditions.
We could do most money.
Well, he wins by default because his power is to get money.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Capitalism, bitch.
We could flip a coin.
I mean, you've got a while yet before.
Yeah, you got 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Give or take.
10?
Yeah.
That's a lot of units to put up there, Ted.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Ted? Your
What is that
apple looks
from?
so tasty.
That's the Family Guy opening.
Okay, because it's the same note as a song from the De Blob soundtrack. If any of you guys have played,
Those are the two most disparate cuts I've ever heard in my life. Family Guy and De Blob. That's
You're
listen, De
welcome,
Blob's
Dustin.
awesome. I fucking love De Blob. It is like among the most underrated video games of all time.
Among?
Justin heard Persona. I'm sorry, no, Justin Mont heard Persona 4.
Kevin, you're alive! I don't believe it!
You have so many copters.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, well, if I didn't steal your airport to not make extra copters.
I guess that's a valid point.
That rocket's dead. Am I out of? Might as well make an extra infantry. Okay, here we go.
Chris, Nick is telling you to throw for content.
Options. Yield? I can wave the white flag right now.
That's good content.
Yeah, everyone would be real happy about that outcome.
All right, did we read the $5 donation from Crawler?
We
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, front crawler.
As a reminder, if you type !donate in the chat, you can get the donation link to take you to the Tiltify page. We are raising money for Rise Above the Disorder, a wonderful cause that is aiming for universal mental health care for all. That's the word universal twice in one sentence. You're welcome. Every donation of $5 or more, we read the full message that you leave for us. You can leave any fun message you'd like. Any donation of $1 or more, we will say your name, Walter White style. If you select the option and donate $10, we'll do some funny voices and read something you want us to read in the funny voice, like Joe Swanson or I guess Tommy Wiseau. I don't have to have a good Tommy Wiseau, but we'll do it. Can't say it'll be good, but it'll happen. So, yeah, donate.
That's
Or
a
else.
threat.
Donate.
Baba Booey?
Baba Booey.
Shit, I should have made a different move. Fuck!
Booga 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 booga.
Where's the undo? Catherine?
You can't redo the turn in the multiplayer, unfortunately.
Undo?
You can't undo who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, so what I'm
You-
hearing is that I should buy this game?
Yeah, this game is pretty good.
I would say Advance Wars is one of Nintendo's hidden gems, especially these two games combined in this remake. It is a fantastic, very engaging, but not like so deep you can't get into it kind of game. I truly do love Advance Wars. I'm really bad at it, as it turns out, but I really love it.
It's also a lot of bang for your buck. Like,
Yes.
Getting through just both campaigns took me like 60 hours, and there's a bunch of extra maps you can do and stuff too. But it's also like segmented because like the first game only took me like 20, the second game took me like another 20. So like, it's not something where it's overwhelming. Like you can play one and then take a break and do the next one a couple weeks later, and so on and so forth. Oh, Firebird brought up Battalion Wars. Battalion Wars is a lot of fun on the GameCube. It's a completely different kind of style of game, but it is also very fun.
I need good decisions. And they're not coming. Alright. So I'm going to leave that infantry unit there so it soaks money from you. So I guess I'll shoot
You
this
do
one.
realize that soaks maybe 200 money from me, right?
Oh yeah, you're calling, right? Fuck it. Shit. That would have been a pretty okay play if you were any other character to be like that. Unfortunately for me, you are calling. That is true.
Yeah, if you build any of the expensive units, because it heals based on the value for that character. So like, if you have to heal ever, it takes like a good lot of money.
You
I don't
have,
remember him saying it that powerfully.
Yeah,
it is incredibly dramatic.
Oh no, it ran out of fuel!
Oh,
That was perfect timing for you to fall onto the water. That unit got killed by General Scales.
Should mod General Scales into this game.
Yo.
honestly,
He's a general, it fits.
let's fucking go. I'm hearing good ideas all around.
Just fucking love the U2 Tazuk General Scales.
General Scales. He won the American Revolution. Fun fact.
He put his whole pussy into that performance.
What? Don't you mean his scalacy? Why'd you just say pussy?
His cloaca.
Okay, that's better.
He probably does have a cloaca, actually, yeah.
That's
you
more
think the
biblically
aliens that
accurate.
they found on Earth have cloacas?
The dinosaurs?
No. The aliens that were confirmed recently.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about the game.
Are they actually confirmed? Because
I mean,
No.
they're confirmed in one person's opinion.
Non-human bodies.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Look,
Non-human
you could
bodies
find my
were
corpse in a
found.
ditch and it'd be non-human. Like, it's fine.
That could mean that bugs were found inside of it.
Yeah, like it could be like bacterial, like microscopic level. Like I just looked at that, I was like, yeah, all right.
Did they say
Sure.
bodies or biologics? I thought they said biologics, which is why I thought bacteria. I
Oh,
didn't
maybe.
read super deep
Did
into
they?
it.
Oh.
They might have said non-human bodies. Either
Yeah.
way, it's one person who, to be fair, would be in the know and is under oath. It wouldn't be the first time that.
Yeah. He's
Oh, that
already
someone
been
would-
saying this for years. He's always saying this quote. So I was just like, yeah, all right.
It's one of those that feels like not to be conspiratorial, but it feels like there's a distraction from something else going on.
That's what like half the comments were saying in that
Yeah.
tweet. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I put that aside, I'm like, I'd want to hear this from like another person who hasn't been on this tirade for a few years now. Because like maybe he's crazy, maybe he's right, but it's just one guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, either way, it's like there are aliens, just maybe not on Earth. You know,
Oh yeah, no,
alien life.
I
exists
believed in aliens my whole life, but now that the government said so, now I'm not so sure.
No, it's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
that guy in fucking Congress.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Oh, 10 Elements has a good point. Plus, making any possible alien tech public domain so that some billionaire just doesn't hoard it. Yeah.
Oh no, Marvel.
This is an interesting play and via surrounding my one base unit there. Though I see what you're doing. Yeah, okay. You may win this just by spamming air units.
Yeah, that was the plan.
You guys want to hear Goron Link from Majora's Mask fall down a bunch?
It's been a
Yo,
while.
go for it.
Please.
There's one last one in there.
That poor guy.
Oh.
Why were
Oh,
they
they're
in
going at it.
sync? Can you just do that again real quick? The
them
whole
in sync?
falling.
Yeah, hold on.
Whatever Daddy wants, Daddy gets. Whatever Daddy wants, Daddy gets.
Oh, I didn't want that to go twice.
Whatever Daddy wants,
Excuse me?
Daddy gets.
It's really funny the second time. I thought I was hitting the pause on it. Anyway, Ted, you should
We
forfeit.
don't need to be funny. We have these buttons.
Yeah, I have this kid now.
I'm gonna build.
Yo, I found a new item.
You got a gun?
Take that, Majora, you piece of shit.
Oh, hey, it's my turn now. I get to play. I don't want to. I'm scared. What the hell do I even do? Wait, I can get rid of this one infantry unit. That's pretty cool.
Oh, my spleen.
The Streets of Rage hubris wasn't supposed to come back and bite me.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of things that are. Oh my God! Is 153 power?
Die.
Who hurt you?
You.
God damn.
You hurt me.
Just give up and die.
This guy loses a Kirby race and comes back to take it out on me. Jesus Christ.
I'm still mad about that. For the record, John beats me by like 10 minutes and doesn't even play Kirby. I'm
Not
so
even
mad.
fucking close either. Just
Yeah.
complete disrespect.
You know he didn't practice that shit. That's the worst part.
Someone's gonna get him one day.
Apparently, it's not going to be me. Oh no, you can escape that infantry now. Oh my God.
Yeah, good idea. I look to the right. General Herpes. I look back to the game.
Wait, I have an idea.
What would be really annoying for me to put here? Probably that.
That wasn't a good idea.
Oh. Oh.
I'll, fuck. I need to be funny.
Hope you had fun beating your cock. Now it's my turn.
Is that an AI of Raiden from Metal Gear Solid?
no, that's Goku.
Hope you had
Oh,
fun
okay.
beating your cock. Now it's my turn. Hope you had fun.
Oh, no, stop.
That's the best of us.
I don't want it again, please.
What even do? 10. Nah, you know what? I'm just gonna let him sit there. I don't care. Whatever.
One of you needs a motivational anime speech to get over the hump here.
I think we do. This is just ridiculous.
Hold on, I got you. No, fuck. God damn it. Nope. This one. There we go. Someone give a speech. I'm not doing it.
Listen, Ben. I know that I've been throwing you into the meat grinder repeatedly and letting you die. You might be thinking that your sacrifices were for naught. However, they absolutely were for naught. You're all a pawn in my greater scheme. So try harder, or else.
That's
Gold rush.
very motivational.
Chie, I threw your Kung Fu DVDs in the trash. I hope you can forgive me. I played 3 hours of Persona 4. I know what the game's about.
I played some of Persona 3.
It's
What?
kinda-
1 HP. Oh, this game's bullshit.
Bro, I'm in the city.
Oh, Persona 4 is on the Game Pass.
Hey. What was the wind up on that one? It's like a chainsaw. Sorry. Kevin and I find
Teddy's
Teddy
the worst
Persona
character.
very
He's the
amusing.
worst character. I love him so much.
Doesn't he sexually harass all the women?
I may come.
It's a weird ground where he doesn't seem to understand what any of it is. So he's just saying what he's told.
There's a lot of issues in Persona 4, to be frank.
Yeah. Persona 4 has some age issues. Like, it doesn't age well.
Thankfully, it's a prequel to the first game ever made, so it kind of makes sense in that context.
Yeah.
Oh, Persona 5? Yeah,
Persona
the
5
first RPG
invented
ever
video
made.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just didn't know better back then.
This damn artillery has probably generated something along the lines of like 30,000 funds of value.
It's easily the most valuable unit I think I've ever placed in an Advanced Wars game. Hey, don't kill it. Wait.
Boom.
Chris, I was looking through my soundboard for ones that are stupid enough to play on air, and I found one that I forgot I had.
Hey,
Oh.
what are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this.
Holy fuck. I'm coming.
Lois.
Oh, that one keeps going.
It keeps going. Oh, fuck.
Also, the music in this game slaps for Z Record. I love it.
Not just those in the comments. The charity room people also need to stop. What should we stop? Sorry.
Existing? I agree.
Stream ends.
Day 999. Let's go.
God, your one infantry here is extremely irritating.
Oh, I guess it was the sex jokes, which I'm being told we in the charity room are fine, which is good because that sex jokes are all we have. I'm a level with you.
Yeah,
We occasionally
sorry.
make poop jokes.
Oh wait,
So
I could break Bentley's spine again.
I used the Monado powers to reverse when Bentley's spine broke. And then I let it happen again just to watch.
There. That's what you asked for. We went from a good talk about the
Oh my
market
God.
structure of the gaming industry and streaming into Bentley and general scales.
Ted,
Kevin is,
what
is
hap-
ex- Oh god, no, you go.
Ted, what's happening, Ted?
I don't know. Do I give up your stupid ass airport? Fine.
It's all I want.
Yeah.
Steven, what were you gonna say?
Kevin, I was gonna ask you, is Xbox going to be okay? Wow, there's so much talk that they're not gonna be okay. Are they not gonna be okay?
My response to that is thanks to Valkyrie786 for the $20 donation.
Wow.
Awesome to see y'all for another year, and super stoked to see one of my favorite series getting the spotlight. Been
Oh,
recovering
yeah,
from a
I'm
rib
going
injury,
over.
so having these streams as a distraction has been all the more bearable. Apart from these two COs, who else do you like playing as? I'll always love Sensei. Well, first off, thank you, and I'm hoping that you're feeling better from the rib injury. Favorite COs in the Advance Wars series?
Thankfully, we're not funny, so there's no risk of further injury from you watching this.
I do also like playing Sensei. I was considering playing Sensei, but I figured it would be too annoying.
I have poop for brains, so I usually just like mechs or grit. I go real basic.
Grit's a lot of fun.
I liked Drake, but then I went online and everyone pointed out that naval units are actually kind of worthless in competitive play. And I went, oh.
Yeah, it's just because they're so expensive is the problem.
Yeah.
Do they get balanced more in later games?
Sorta. They try. They're still too expensive. In Days of Ruin,
Gotcha.
the battleship can move and shoot in the same turn, which is really, really good. But yeah, they're just not used very much because
Okay,
they're too expensive.
that makes sense.
For what they do.
And Underman says they're expensive and they die to the units they're supposed to counter. That makes sense. To go back to your question, Steven, go back to your Steven question. Xbox will be fine. I don't see why. So here's the thing, actually. They might not. I lied. So the thing to me with Xbox currently is they need Starfield to do well. Like, if Starfield does not score well, or it's a disaster, or anything goes wrong, my belief is that Phil Spencer is out. Because he's been on an apology tour for the last, 3 years, ever since Halo Infinite got delayed. To the point that Halo wasn't even at the Xbox E3 showcase for a season that had just started for Halo Infinite. Halo is no longer the big money franchise at Microsoft. They don't care anymore. So the scary part about it is all of these acquisitions and all of these deals with Microsoft's Infinite Wallet will change in not tone, but almost in meaning overnight if Starfield doesn't do well, because Phil Spencer's out, and then essentially all of the promises that we've heard Microsoft make in the last year are now on the whim of another random executive. And you can imagine how well that could possibly go.
Yeah.
That's my big concern, because a healthy Xbox is healthy for the rest of the industry. As much as, I don't know, there's a lot of weird discussion and discourse that happens where a lot of people who want Call of Duty to be free with Game Pass are rooting for the acquisition, and I don't really like the acquisition personally, because I don't think that buying the largest publisher in the world is a good idea for anybody. But then it's so complicated, because then you get the whole Square making Final Fantasy 16 PlayStation exclusive, but then also making 14 come to Xbox. Like, they're a complicated company, Square is. It's interesting, because part of the issue is that Microsoft, at the end of the Xbox 360 era, sort of got comfortable almost, in my opinion, and they stopped focusing so much on their first-party games because they were so dominant on the third-party space. And that led to them struggling throughout the entire Xbox One era with not really having a brand identity as far as their own exclusive properties go. So Halo struggled in the post-Bungie years heavily. Even if it sold well, it still struggled. Gears of War kind of fell off mostly. A lot of their other franchises just kind of didn't exist. And so you see all of that, and you see them then start buying a bunch of studios up once Phil Spencer takes over, and there's that realization or that acceptance of, oh my God, we really need to compete. We can't sell systems on third-party games, it turns out. And so they buy all these studios up, and then you have Nintendo and Sony with a 20 to 40-year head start in the space of making your own games. So there's that element of, I know people were pointing at like Spider-Man as an example of, well, that's an exclusive, that Sony paid for. But then the understanding is that that was more of a handshake, because the way that it was pitched to the public was Marvel came to Microsoft and said, we want to make games for you. Microsoft said, we don't care. Marvel came to Sony and said, we want to make games. Who do you think we should go for? And Sony weirdly said Insomniac, the studio they didn't own yet. And so Insomniac had free reign to make whatever franchise they wanted, supposedly, which obviously was Spider-Man. And so you get this whole thing where, like, because Sony owns the movie rights to Spider-Man, there's a potential backdoor deal where it's like, okay, we'll put Spider-Man in the MCU, and the exchange is that the Spider-Man games stay a Sony property. And so you get all this sort of thing happening where Sony has that franchise, or they buy Insomniac, who's mostly been a PlayStation studio anyway, if you look at their numbers, really. The only non-PlayStation games they made ever were a couple VR games, Sunset Overdrive and Fuse, and no one knows what Fuse is. So. Oh, and some Leapster games, sorry. So anyway, there's a whole interesting series of stories that happens there where you see Microsoft turn into, we are selling the brand of the Xbox and Game Pass rather than any individual game, which makes sense because it's hard to make more money selling multiple games per year than it is to get $240 a year for people just existing, for being on your service,
240?
Isn't Game Pass not $20 a month? 15 now. No, it's $24.99 a month, isn't it?
I'm paying 10.
Depends
if you're
doing
paying for
PC
just the
console.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Game Pass Ultimate because a lot of people have Ultimate. My bad.
Gotcha.
But either way, they're paying $120 to $240 a year to exist on your ecosystem. That's guaranteed money that you might not get because those people might not all buy those games. And when you have 25 million people on Game Pass, if not more,
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money that you have permanently
every year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems like they are struggling right now because of how much they have invested, but the hope is like down the line it'll pay off.
Yeah, especially the whole reason, and here's the thing that is also the real truth of it, is no matter what we think about Call of Duty or Blizzard or anything going to Microsoft, the real reason Microsoft's investing is for King, because King is most of the Activision Blizzard King studio.
What game does King?
Candy Crush.
Okay.
So Microsoft don't give a fuck about Activision in comparison. If you're looking at who greenlit the deal, it's because they want the mobile gaming space. Because your soccer moms are paying a lot more for fucking Candy Crush and the ads they get off Candy Crush than Call of Duty will ever sell in lifetime income.
Interesting.
It's a whole complicated issue that again goes back to as early as 2011, 2012, honestly. With Microsoft in particular, where you really see a lot of the struggles come forth, and a lot of the issues that they're still dealing with now just kind of hit because up until about 2018, Xbox was part of the Windows division. It wasn't a separate division within Microsoft. So that was why when they spun Xbox off into its own actual proper division, I was really excited because I was like, oh shit, like this might mean we actually get an Xbox that cares, which hasn't been a thing for a while. And we are to some extent getting that, you know, but the issue then comes as part of them getting that is them making up for lost time by buying a bunch of studios, and the struggle with that is then that really none of those studios have put out many games in the last 5 years. Like we're 5 years out from them buying like 20 studios.
I will be back in 1 second. Don't kill me on this turn, please.
All right.
Kill him.
Time to move all his pieces while he's not looking.
But yeah, it's just fascinating. It's just fascinating to like look at the whole history on it. Chris, what do you think about Xbox?
I'm so fucking smoked, dude.
What the fuck does that mean?
In this game, I'm so fucking smoked.
Oh.
Sorry, I haven't been listening.
No, that's valid.
I just
haven't either.
here just falling into a pit of despair. Like, god damn it, Ted won.
Oh no.
I can still
Chris.
put up a fight to get us to 8 p.m., of course, but I'm looking at this and it's... There's a world where if Ted and I were playing this game for another couple hours, I could stall my way to a win. But looking at it right now in our time limit, I
have an idea. Let's split screen this, and Ted has to play Mario Brothers and Advance Wars at the same time. Against like you on one side, John on the other. He's fighting a two front war. Yes, this has been one game the entire run.
Yeah, no, this has been one map. Oh.
I'm just interested in seeing what you can pull off to bring it close to a tie.
I don't think I can.
Chris, do you need an anime motivational speech?
Your assholes look so tasty.
Thank you, Justin.
I like the Persona music is just so it's so understated when it comes from your soundboard. It's like so fucking quiet that it just gets noise reduced. Here, I got you. Hold on. I'll play some. I don't know the Final Fantasy X fucking Shazanakin anymore. Damn it. I can play the English version of that. Will we get claimed if we do that? I can do that.
It's a Sega song, so probably not. Sega don't care.
This one's a real classic.
Thanks, man.
Chris,
Steven?
I know that you're feeling down right now, but just remember. You were gonna die anyway.
I didn't think about it that way, Steven.
Have I died yet?
Not yet. Someday.
I may have taken out one of your little units.
What song is this?
Fuck!
There's an English version of this song?
Oh, yeah.
As of Yakuza 7, yeah.
Cool.
Is this gonna kill the VOD? Probably
So
not.
that version's not on Spotify, so I don't think so. They've never put that version on Spotify. And I'm sad, because I would like it to be there too.
I mean, I don't think Sega really does that.
They put all of 7's soundtrack on Spotify except for that song.
No, what I mean is I don't care. I don't think they care about DMCA stuff.
They won't take it down. They might try and monetize it at worst, you know.
Yeah.
But at that point, fuck them.
So at worst, we might have an ad.
We also don't make money on the YouTube anyway.
Yeah. At worst, there will be an ad in front of this video.
Yeah. Also, why I stopped it there and had it real quiet anyway. So that just in case. So gone, Ted. Chris was accepting that he probably lost.
Sorry, food came, so I was chewing.
Ted's just
I mean, it's
silent
looking
like you're
pretty
goddamn
okay
right.
for me.
Chew it!
But yeah, there haven't been any degenerate comments about Blue Chew. This.
Yeah. Someone
weird
mentioned
one.
it in chat at one point, and I kind of explained, like, hey, turns out Blue Chew, not cool.
Oh, what happened?
Blue Chew's
the-
old hat anyway.
The Blue Chew CEO, it turns out to be a crazy person on Twitter.
Oh,
Well,
you mean X?
a
Yeah.
CEO is crazy? Wow.
Yeah, it's about what you'd expect, and honestly, surprised we didn't expect it. But we saw that and we were like, oh, there goes that joke. So
Shades
Viagra,
of
chew it.
Bang energy.
No, that's accurate.
We're here for
You
Green
know-
Swallow anyway, honestly.
We should make our own Blue Chew. Let's make our own dick pills.
Chat. All right, I'll start the poll. Who could use them? You are-
Yeah, raise your hand. Donate $5 if you want dick pills. We're not going to send them to you, but donate $5 and ask for dick pills.
You're our test mice. Get into the lab. Yeah. As far as we know, Chester the chicken's still okay.
Is this going to be flowers for Algernon, but with dick pills?
I didn't read that, so I'm gonna say yes.
Hold on, how does that work? Because in Flowers for Algernon, you get smart, and then he goes back to what he was before.
You just get really... Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. I don't need
But
to explain
like,
it.
how does that
I don't-
work in the dick pills?
I don't need to explain it.
Okay.
It happens for a while and then it goes away. Just like...
Holy
That's pretty accurate. That book was sad.
Hey.
Good book, though.
There's an episode of the Rugrats where they
What the fuck's Grandpa doing?
where it's basically Chucky as the guy from Flowers for Algernon.
I just saw the Always Sunny episode recently. It's also a Flowers for Algernon, but it's all placebo, so he just thinks he got smarter. So he starts trying to speak another language, and he's just been gibberish, it turns out, the whole time.
My read on this somehow was that in the Rugrats reboot, Grandpa found Blue Chew. Because in the Rugrats reboot, he's Chuck McGill, and I was just like, wait.
I never watched the Rugrats reboot.
You know.
I saw that Stu's a gamer, but that's literally the only thing that I saw.
So you know how like there's that Cards Against Humanity card where it's drinking 10 5-hour energies to get 50 hours of consecutive energy?
Okay.
What is there a Blue Chew version of that? Or a dick pill version of that? Sorry, generic dick pill.
No, it's like what Spire Knife said, Crub Chew with merch.
Oh. Spare Knife, we're not giving you royalties, but thank you.
I don't like Crub Chew. That sounds wrong. We call it the Crub Rub. It's a topical lotion.
Yeah, that's much better, actually, yeah.
We have $10 from Anonymous. Did you hear they just found the Emperor Nero's private theater in Rome just a few days ago? Fascinating.
Okay.
That's the kind of news I wish I heard instead of some of the shit
yeah.
I do here.
Yeah, I wish I would have learned about that instead of dick pill, man.
No.
Thank you for the donation, by the way.
Yes, thank you very much.
Hand them out at that's what you should have handed out at TMG, giving everybody Blue Chew.
I have a bunch of bottle caps of Diet Squirt that I meant to give out this year.
I thought you were going to give everybody the Diet
I
Squirt.
forgot I didn't bring them with me. They were in the
I
corner
was
of my
so
room.
excited, and then I was just like, oh, I just got a sticker.
Just a
I just
crummy
don't have
fucking
that.
sticker.
Next year I'll bring the Diet Squirt.
I still have it like with all my rest of the art. I have that. I have Trabs. I think I have John's sticker too.
TMG merch idea for Crub Dick Pills. Yeah, it's me, Dick Pills, here to sell you dick pills. They're not chewable, but you can anyway. Snort them.
It's the new tagline instead of chew it. It's snorted. Doesn't roll off the tongue as well, but it rolls off the nose just as nice.
Just mainline crushed dick pills.
I still think you guys should have, every time John wasn't at his booth, you should have just had a sign that just said Crub, and it's just all you guys just sat there.
It's free
Don't have a
marketing.
full booth at TMG.
No. Oh, John had one, yeah, not us.
What was he selling?
Handshakes. It's just one of those autograph. It was one of those autograph booths.
Oh yeah.
The usual meet and greet type thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I thought you meant like he had like a booth like on.
No,
the
he didn't have one. No.
selling naughty pictures. Buy them.
I'm just
Should
getting
have
in.
done that. He should have done that. He would have made bank.
Sean said, "I don't charge for anything, let alone dick pills." Come to my booth at Too Many Games, and I'll give you dick pills. I don't know why this is just Joel Last of Us now, but it's.
Yeah, we don't. I don't need your Tommy Miller to come back. I had enough of him.
Respectfully, Kevin.
That's a character. That's a character that doesn't go well.
All right, I got my last few upset kicks at Ted's shins. I can call this a yield. Is there a scoreboard? Where's that at?
It's 7:55. So
Yeah, if anyone wants to look at how this went, it didn't go well for me.
it was hard though. Like trying to kill Combi's units is impossible.
Yeah. I was telling him while you were gone, like, if there's a world where you and I were just playing by ourselves and went for like another couple of hours, there's like a way I probably could have eventually stalled and turned this around, but for this time allotment, yeah, I made some bad moves and
I don't think anybody wants to watch the 5-hour Advance Wars call and V Combi.
That's their fucking loss.
You didn't Zerg rush hard enough, Chris.
I guess not. Alright, well, just so it's official on camera, there's me yielding. Goddamn lost to a kid.
This wasn't part of the plan.
Truly, though. Yeah, in the end, according to Blue Dino, money went out over quality. Capitalism. That was a good game, Ted. Thank you very much. We are unfortunately
I feel
tied.
vindicated. Thank you.
It's said Advance Wars turning into a game of Civ over here.
Yeah, at least it can go a while. If you play Advance Wars by Web, which is like the fan-made Advance Wars online kind of deal website, like that's like an email kind of system. Like you just make a move and email someone.
It's like just by web, yeah, just by mail.
It's a great way to try out the series if you're curious and don't want to spend money. Don't tell Nintendo. Okay, do we have any last minute donations or do we want to just call it and get out of here?
We do not.
All right, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for donations. Thank you for letting me have Advanced Wars in this event, me and Ted. It's nice to get a weird game like this in. Next up is Mario Brothers Arcade with John and Ted, right?
Yep.
And then after that, I will be back in a game of Mario Party where I'm trying to lose against who else playing? Elliot,
Sabrina, Stefan.
Trav. Oh, Trav. God, get me out of here. All right. See you soon, everybody. Bye.
Charity versus Room 2. New Age of Zeros.